All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean. It is Sunday afternoon. I hope everyone is doing fine and had a wonderful New Year's. I hope you're hale and hearty. As always, let's get the YouTube algorithm crap out of the way. Like and subscribe. Support me on Patreon. Support me on Ko-Fi. If you use DriveThruRPG, buy a book using my affiliate link down in the doobly-doo. It really helps out the channel. As always, leave a comment. Let me know what your experiences, your thoughts are about whatever we're talking about. Today, we're talking about Subversion, cyberpunk fantasy and Neo-Babylon. This was, first full disclosure, this was sent to me for free as a review copy. The publisher, Fragging Unicorns, reached out to me via email at my review email, which is mrmeanspeaks@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me, that's the best way to do it. Also on my Discord, I have a thriving Discord. Many publishers are on there, willing to offer advice and help in publishing and or format, layout, all that stuff. So hit me up, join the Discord. We have a thriving community. We talk about games and RPGs. We have some subsections for like computer games, Xbox. We talk about pop culture and all that fun stuff. But for the most part, let's talk about RPGs as the prime channel in my Discord. With that out of the way, let's get to it. Fragging Unicorns Subversion. Cyberpunk adventures in Neo-Babylon. So if you're tired of Shadowrun and you want to change, or you've never played Shadowrun, but you're interested, but you think it's too heavy, the mechanics are too tough, and you want something different, have I got a treat for you. Subversion. Hardback book, 336 pages. It was added to DriveThruRPG on June 22nd of 2024, day after my birthday. Pretty awesome if you think. I don't know how I got a hard copy. I think they had a Kickstarter and they had an X amount of books produced, but I got a copy. I'm super happy. I'm glad it's in my library. I'm enjoying the read. If you go to DriveThruRPG, you can only buy it in PDF right now. It's $24, so it's a steal for 336 pages of an RPG. That's pretty awesome. That sale's going on for a little while. I don't know how much longer. Then it goes back up to its normal price of $30, which again, 336 pages for a PDF for $30. Not too bad. I am going to say that I'm really impressed with this. And like I said, if you're not a Shadowrun fan, this may be a tough one. Or maybe you're like me and you love the setting of Shadowrun, but you don't like the mechanics. I do not like their mechanics. The mechanics in Subversion winning me over. And again, I'm not a big D6 fan. If you followed the channel for a while, you know that D6 is not my jam. But there are a few games that I do enjoy that are D6 based games. GURPS for one of them. And I've played GURPS Cyberpunk and had a blast. I've played Shadowrun back in the early days. I don't think I've played anything past 3rd edition. I think they're on 6th or 7th edition now. So I don't know how much the mechanics have changed. I'm sure they've changed quite a bit, but it's not my jam. I don't like the way the mechanics work with the enrolling a ton of D6s and then looking, for whatever target number it is. This system is a little bit better. It's a skill-based system. I prefer skill-based systems because it gives you... I'm sorry, I'm getting over some sort of crud. I apologize if I cough. I can't really control it. There's a balancing system in here where you're going to take your skill, you're going to roll that many dice. There's ways to affect your dice pool with gear, cybernetics, GM, situational modifiers, and things like that. But the cool thing is you're going to keep, however many dice you roll, you're going to keep 3 dice. You're always going to roll 3 dice. So even if you're in a situation where you can only roll 2 dice, you'll still roll 3 dice. You're only going to keep 2 of the dice or whatever the situation may be. But you're always going to, you're going to roll a minimum of 3 dice, no matter what. You may be in a situation where you'll have penalties, which is called dulled. or inspired, which will affect your dice rolls, and you affect the number on the die. Dulled reduces the number, inspired increases the number. So it's pretty cool. I lost my train of thought here. Oh, there's no rolling a 20d6 to try and get 13 successes, on sixes. The GM's going to set a target number, and you're going to roll your dice pool, and you're going to try to get that number. And it ranges from 8 to 27. And remember, the average on 3d6 is 10, I believe. 10 or 9. 9 or 10. So you got to, I know on 2d6 the average is 7. So I think if you add an extra d6, it bumps it up to, I think, a 9 or a 10. So maybe even 11. So your odds are pretty good of a basic, easy task. What they do in here that I think is cool, if you total up your dice and you get equal to or up to 4 above the target number. So let's say the target number is an 8 and you roll a 12, that is considered a success. You have accomplished your goal. So if you got an 8 through 12, you have succeeded. If you got a 13, which is 4 above or 5 above your target number, that's a dynamic success. Well done. You've solidly achieved, and it goes up from there. The higher you roll for your total, the better you succeed. So I like the fact that you can really succeed. You can also really fail. It goes both ways. But I like that fact that rolling the dice has an achievable outcome, and you just don't succeed. You have some levels, you have some depth to that roll, and then things can be affected by the mechanics of the game. Reliable X. If a roll is reliable, you may increase the value of any rolled dice to the value specified in reliable. So that means a 2 may count all 1s and 2s instead. Reliable 3 may count all 1s, 2s, and 3s as 3s, etc., etc. So the better the reliability, the better your dice roll. So if you have a crappy roll, you roll all 3s, but you roll all 1, or you roll all 2s and you have reliable 3. You're going to have a 9 instead of a 6, which may be a marginal success. So it's a way to help it. Inspired, you can the number. Blah, blah, blah. I can't talk today, guys. I apologize. If you're inspired, you may improve the result of 1 die by 1 to a max of 6. This can trigger a critical success. So if you're inspired and you rolled a 5 and you needed a 6, you could increase that 5 to a 6. And then dulled is the same as reliable, but in reverse. So dulled is bad. When you take a lot of stress or you take a lot of damage, you can become dulled, and that affects your die rolls, makes things harder, which I kind of like. It makes combat a little more scarier, as opposed and a harsher outcome for the players and the GM. The setting is Neo-Babylon. They give you a very rich, deep background of everything in here for Neo-Babylon. The art is fantastic. I'm going to try and see if I can pull up. Here's the world map, which I think is... Man, I'm having a hard time here today. Sorry for the glare. Nothing I can do about that. A lot of the art is full color art, glossy pages, 336 pages, hardback. I think the art is phenomenal in here. It does kind of have some Shadowrun. We've all seen that picture, on Cyberpunk, the video game. Very similar. But, it's got cybernetics in it. It is, you got some very awesome character backgrounds and options. The art is, it's full color art. There's some black and white in here. It's very well done. You got goblins. You got, I believe one of the races you can pick is a Minotaur, which I think is super awesome. You've got, it's Yetin. It's not Minotaur, it's Yetin. So your races in here is what I think is really cool. You have Dwarven, you have Elven, Goblin, Harmaku, are most notable for their vegetal wings. So think slightly like Indian, Aztec winged people. Human, of course, orcs, and Yetin. So all analogous to Shadowrun in their different species. Sorry. And again, if you're tired of Shadowrun, you're tired of the mechanics, and you want to try something different, Subversion is where it's at. It is a crunchy rule set. There are a lot of modifiers. There's a lot of cyberware. There's a lot to the races, and they all get cool perks and benefits for whatever race that they are. The cybernetics are pretty in-depth. Paradigms, which are background relations, trained paradigms. Lots of cool stuff. Vehicles, the gear section. This is a one-stop shop. There's everything in here you need. I hope they come out with some splat books. We'll see. I don't know why it's not available in hardback. Maybe it will be soon, but right now you can only get it as a PDF. Like I said, for $24, so it's pretty solid. I'm so far really impressed with this read. I'm enjoying the background. I'm enjoying the races. They all contribute to the game. The character sheet is very busy. If that annoys you, that may be something you want to look into, maybe finding an alternative. I believe they have a form fillable PDF on their website. I was reading some of the notes. Here's the front page of the character sheet. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but it's pretty busy. But all in all, I think it's a very practical game sheet. It's a lot of colors for me. And of course, you can print in black and white, and it'll save you some toner. It's a very skills-forward game, though. You know your stats are good and everything, and they figure into your derived attributes that you'll have, but skills is where it's at. It's a skill-based game, so you want to have the skills in order to do things, and it's a pretty in-depth skills section. You have arts, deception, humanities, influence, magical arts, melee combat, observation, physicality, piloting, ranged combat, science, and tech. So yeah, and then of course you got abilities, social, gear, your goals, your mission goals, your values, NPCs that you know. Oh, that's the GM sheet. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong sheet. Yeah, so you got your primary skills, archetypes and aspects, description. You've got resources. You've got law jacks. There's a bunch of power, regard, location, notes. There's a lot of cool stuff on this character sheet, but it is kind of busy with the colors. You got your pronouns, your lineage, your origin, your backgrounds, your fortune, your caste, and your debt. And again, those all have numerical values and can affect your character in some way, shape, or form. Your attributes are agility, wit, awareness, brawn, charisma, and will, which I think is pretty much the same as in Shadowrun. I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been a long time since I looked at it. And then your defensive abilities are guard, vigilance, aegis, initiative, armor, and adamant. And those go into more detail on the character and character creation. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here with the initiative, the interface. You know, they've got their halos, are short for handheld linked organizers, are the most common device in the world. Only the poor, imprisoned, or those actively shunning society are without. So it's basically your SIN, your neural interface. Breaching is hacking, and there's stealth, concealment roles, social actions, social encounters, which I really like because it's not, and that's the cool part is the rules are broken up into the base rules, which are pretty cut and dry, and then part 2 is extended rules where it gets really deep into like social roles and everything. So if you just want to play base cyberpunk, Shadowrun type-esque games, you can do that with just the basic rules, and then as you get more into it and get more comfortable with the rules, you can break out the extended rules. And of course there's extended rules for chases and things like that. Downtime, there's a set of mechanics of what you can do during downtime. I really like how this is laid out. It's very, they explain everything. Is it a lot? Yes. Here's the nice part. You don't have to use it all right away. Get the base mechanics of the game down. I wanted to show this piece of art because I thought that was very Shadowrun, very cyberpunk. I think it fits it, suits it very well. I'm just hoping, yeah, my audio's going. I thought my audio had dipped out. I'm sorry. Let's see, what else? I wanted to, there's impulses, there's using and losing grit. Grit is what helps you when you act against their values. Grit is a hard to define quality that makes people able to remain resolute even though the toughest of times. It is heart, determination, anger, resolve, and destiny all rolled up into one. You begin the game with a grit value equal to your will plus 6. Under certain circumstances, they will lose or gain grit during sessions, but can never start a session with more grit than their max. On certain occasions, PCs may gain temporary grit, which goes away after the period of time described. And the GM also possesses grit that he can use for his bad guys. So I love the basic, there's progression tracks when you're trying to do things long term. You know, you can mark off. It's just, let's see here. Simple tests. The simple challenges only require a single roll by the PC to overcome. The GM will describe the situation and either the PC suggests a skill test that may apply, or the GM will ask for a particular test against a target number. If the PCs meet the target number on all skill tests with or without complications, they overcome the challenge. If they fail, the GM narrates the result, and the PCs may have to find another way to address the challenge or try again once something has changed. Target numbers for most skills are determined by the GM. However, some target numbers are specified by the relevant defense of the target, vigilance, aegis, or guard, or are specified as part of the rules, paradigm abilities, or pieces of equipment. Sorry, guys, I got this horrible cough, but I wanted to get this out because I've been reading the book and I really enjoy it. All your skills are linked to a particular attribute, and you roll your dice versus that target number between 8 and 25. There's a breakdown of what all the target numbers do, and you go from there. So if you're tired of Shadowrun and you want something different, but you enjoy that kind of setting of Shadowrun with the different races and things and the technology, this may be a great alternative. I even think some of these people are former people that worked for FOSSA or Catalyst Games. Let's see, Arthur's O.C. Presley, Ryan Maloney, James Palmer, Clifton Lambert, Jay DePippa, Malpia, and Joe Martin. I think some of those guys have worked for either FOSSA back in the day when it was still owned by FOSSA, or Catalyst Games. I'm not sure. If you know for sure, put a note down in the doobly-doo. What I'm going to tell you, though, is I think this is a buy in my book. I'm not a Shadowrun fan. Love the world, love the setting, do not like the mechanics. I think these mechanics are going to be far easier to deal with. I think it's going to be faster gameplay. Once you learn the setting, you learn the ins and outs of the system, which seem, for the most part, pretty simple. There are several subsystems, Aegis and all that stuff. You're going to have to get to grips with that, but you're going to learn that by playing. The GM can spend some time and read it. Would I GM this? Probably not. It's not my cup of tea. Would I play in this? Oh, hell yeah. I would totally play in this. So maybe we can get the designers to run a game for us on the Mr. Mean Discord. We'll see. I would definitely love to check this out more. I hope they come out with some Splat books. It's definitely in my mind's library to keep an eye out when I see it. Maybe at the source when I go down there in a month or two to pick up RPGs that I can't get, on Amazon, or I can't get, locally. And sometimes I just like to buy a physical book instead of ordering it online. So give this a check. Let me know what you think. Did you kickstart it? Did you get your copy? Are you enjoying it? Or is there things you'd like to see changed? Give me your pros and cons. Let me know what you think about it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I want to give a big thank you to Fraggin' Unicorns for reaching out to me, A, and B, sending me a free copy. Super awesome of them. I'm enjoying the read. I think it's a beautiful book. I think it's going to hold up. It's a stitched and sewn binding with glue. I think it's going to hold up for a long time, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection. So a big thank you to Fraggin' Unicorn. I'm looking forward to see what you guys come up with next. This is a hit. I'm very, very excited about it, and let me know what you guys are working on next. If the designers want to come on the channel and do an interview, maybe talk about the Kickstarter. If there was a Kickstarter, let me know. Other than that, though, as always, I'm going to say peace and hair grease. And as always, Mr. Mean says, be nice. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.